Sharks of the Corn? Virus Shark? Cocaine Shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, and this week you're going to have to guess which one of us is in Yellowface. I'm Derrick.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies,
Worst People.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This week we are discussing a movie, and I'm going to say it right up front. I'm getting better. Remo Williams.
The adventure begins.
Yes, it's the beginning of a franchise.
Yeah, and good job on saying the movie right away. That's well done. You are getting better.
I mean, people click the thingy. They see the movie.
Yeah, it says it right there.
That's fine. You on your podcast thing, it says Bad Movies, Worst People, : whatever movie we're doing. Or dash, I don't know.
I don't know punctuation.
I don't listen to podcasts. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. I just don't read them.
I exclusively listen.
For new listeners, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. This is a comedy podcast where we talk about movies, good, bad, or other, and we use that as a way to have inappropriate conversations and embarrass our parents.
So, yeah, this was suggested by a friend of mine, and I had no idea what I was in for. And I will quote you texting me, what the fuck is this? A sentiment that I can also get behind.
Yeah, literally, what the fuck is this? Also, if you guys didn't notice, it's just me and Jack this week.
Oh, yeah.
We're not just talking over Whitney.
The intro. Yeah, shut up, Whitney.
We're not just talking over her like usual.
To quote a later scene in this movie, women should stay at home and have babies. Hopefully a man baby.
Yes, that is a line in this movie.
That's said here.
By a white man painted up like a Korean man.
Dude, I read somewhere that the special effects artist got nominated or won an award.
He was nominated for makeup effects, and Joel Grey, who plays Chun, was nominated for, or maybe won, Golden Globe, I think, for Best Supporting Actor.
Wow.
So,
damn, 85 was a wild-ass time.
1985. That's when this movie came out. Rated PG-13. Because they're going for like a James Bond crowd, I guess.
Blue-collar James Bond.
Yeah. Which, if you're going to be a blue-collar James Bond, you should probably, I don't know, have a gadget or have sex or do action.
Yeah.
Any of those things would make this a movie.
I mean, I'm just happy he's not forcing himself on women. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't need a full we don't need a Sean Connery James Bond. We need like a Pierce Brosnan James Bond.
And there's a gadget, kinda. It's a fake arm, but...
Yeah, but that's not his gadget.
True.
Although it's funny that it's a fake arm and it's gadget, because then it's like, I'll get you next time, gadget.
And there's a scene where it just shows a gloved hand next to a phone at one point in the limo, and I was like, oh man, it's Dr. fucking Claw.
I wish.
It wasn't.
The villain here has no personality.
At all.
Unlike Dr. Claw.
He's got a brooding face at best. Like, that is your thing.
This guy, I don't remember his name. The character's name is George Grove. I, the whole time, was like, that should have been Brian Dennehy.
Oh, yeah, and his right-hand man, Robert Stack.
Perfect.
We're making... Dude, you talk about Brian Dennehy just commanding a room or a limo?
Because right now, we have the guy that plays Grove and the guy that plays Wilson, his little sidekick.
Who should be Robert Stack.
And they look like the same person.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was like, wait, is that... No, that's the sidekick. Wait.
Well, and they both have the same distinct lack of personality. So, I mean, they're not doing any favors to help... set yourself apart.
Well, and even their third guy, they're like tough guy lackey, their wannabe Jaws, I guess, since this has a lot to do with James Bond.
Diamond Tooth?
Yeah, he's got just a diamond in his tooth, but like not even centered.
You know that actor's name?
That guy is...
I love his name. I kind of, before you say
Patrick Kilpatrick. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was going to say, I really, I'm not rooting for it, but if this guy killed himself, would be a great obituary. Patrick Kilpatrick dies by suicide.
Patrick Kilpatrick killed Patrick.
Patrick Kilpatrick killed Patrick.
Yes, and that guy has been in a bunch of other stuff.
I actually recently watched Last Stand with Bruce Willis.
Yes. No, Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
Sorry, not that fucking Tim Allen show.
That's also Last
Yeah,
Man
not
Standing.
that though. I
but
wasn't
yeah.
watching that.
No.
Huh?
Bruce Willis, Last Man Standing. Not Fake Tool Time.
It's fucking Tim the Toolman Taylor standing up against the mob.
No, Tim the Toolman Taylor would fold to the mob and tell them everything about his contacts.
Oh, you're saying he's got like a history of doing this?
Yeah, you've heard that, right?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I definitely have.
For those listening who don't know, Tim Allen famously folded on his like cocaine friends and or dealers when he was busted. Trafficking.
Because that's the
Yes.
thing is like I heard about this when I was younger and I was like, oh, he got caught selling a little blow. No. Dude was fucking moving.
He was
weight
pulling
and
a
flipping
full-on
birds.
DeLorean.
Yeah. Yeah. He was pulling who is that?
John DeLorean.
John DeLorean.
I think
yeah.
it's John. His last name is DeLorean. Hence,
I'm trying to think of who owned the AMC. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the bad guys in this are just kind of flat. There are some flat spots to this. Otherwise, what I think is a pretty fun movie. We got an hour and a half. No, I'm sorry. We have a 2-hour
Yeah.
runtime. And if you got this down to an hour and a half, I feel like both of us would bump it up a little bit from whatever our rating ends up being.
Yeah, Patrick Kilpatrick. I have it here. It took me a second to find it. Also in Death Warrant
Okay.
with JCVD and in Eraser, which is an underrated Schwarzenegger film in my opinion.
Oh, I like it. I actually
Yeah.
watched it not too long ago.
I heard for years that it was trash. I never watched it. I mean, in the cover, the picture is not good. It's
I
just
think it's fun
stupid.
trash.
And so I never watched it. And then somebody was telling me that it was awesome, and I was like, well, I love Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after I was watching Commando on repeat. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I put it on. I'm like, this movie is awesome.
And he knows what movie he's in.
Yeah.
But anyway, not this movie.
No, much better than this movie.
So something I got to say right up front. Fred Ward, first of all, rest in pictures. We lost him like, what, a year ago?
yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah. Lovely human being as far as we're aware. Played in Tremors, the big thing known for.
Yeah, he was in Tremors.
Joe Dirt's dad, things like this. But so I love this beginning scene because he's got the mustache. He looks like if you ordered John Bernthal off Wish. And I know that he came first, so I'm not arguing that. But it's like, do we have John Bernthal at home? Yeah, we got John Bernthal at home. Insert a picture of Fred Ward.
Well, so we start with him with this mustache. He ends up dying. Spoiler alert.
So he's a beat cop.
quote unquote dying. Hold on, I just want to cover real quick. They say they gave him plastic surgery.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get to as well.
Is his plastic surgery just shaving his mustache?
Dude, it's so all right. So things happen. He gets his death faked, and yeah, he wakes up to a nurse shaving him, which also he's got a 5 o'clock shadow.
So do you shave after plastic surgery?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
But then
I know we jumped ahead a little bit.
this movie has not a lot of
Anything?
cohesiveness. Yeah.
I do want to cover real quick. It's directed by a James Bond director, and it's written by a James Bond
I was gonna
writer.
say I want to say written.
Yeah.
And the music.
The music was not done by a James Bond guy.
Oh, it's a shame.
The music was done by a guy named Tommy Shaw, or at least he did Remo's theme, like the main song.
Sure.
Who also worked on Gremlins 2, Encino Man, Billy Madison, Tommy Boy, and Armageddon. Where the fuck that one come
Whoa.
from?
I mean, everything you just said is in the same filing cabinet.
I think he just did a song for
Until
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Like, I don't think he did the music. You know what I mean?
I mean, no. Liv Tyler's husband did.
Wait, what?
Steven Tyler? Isn't that her husband?
It might be.
It's
her dad,
Sure
but
act like it.
It's also her husband.
Ugh.
I've seen that video.
Yeah.
With her and Alicia
All of them.
Silverstone.
Like
Oh.
he's singing to his daughter in almost every of those early videos.
I just remember her and Alicia Silverstone in one, and I was like, that's not okay.
Crazy, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Sure.
But the director, Guy Hamilton, directed Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun. The writer, Christopher Wood, wrote The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. He also wrote a bunch of like low-level, like Cinemax style smut movies.
Yeah, go on. Documentaries, I call them.
I saw that before I watched the movie, and I was like, oh, so it's gonna have that James Bond like sexy thing.
Dude, this is a sexless movie.
Yeah,
Like through
he
and
tries to hit on that chick from Voyager.
I was gonna say, did you recognize the
Oh,
young Kate
immediately.
Mulgrew? I blew my roommate's mind by letting her know that that's Red from Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's a vastly different person now.
No, yeah, but that's one of the few characters when Whitney watched Orange Is the New Black. I didn't,
Mhm.
because I have better things to do, like watch this, I guess.
I was busy watching Remo Williams.
And I remember when she was watching it, I was like, man, why do I know that chick? And it took me like 4 seasons of her watching it to be like, Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
know her
about
from
it.
this time frame. I believe just a fucking second of a cameo in Throw Mama from the Train. And that's
Okay.
one that I just grew up on. So I recognized her from that. Obviously, I'm going to remember her fucking 2 or 3 episode arc on Cheers.
Okay, I don't
She's
know.
the mayor. She's dating Sam Malone. It's right before Diane leaves.
I keep trying.
Yeah.
I can't get through that first season.
You
man.
shouldn't have to try it. You're either going to like it or you don't.
I feel like I should just go straight to the second season.
All right. I say you shy.
Because I've gotten through like 18 episodes of the first season multiple times, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching Seinfeld or The Office. The first season is just rough.
See, but I think I can love those shows so much because I've gotten through it that I like to go back now.
I think that's the difference, is if I watch it all and then go back. I watched a lot of Cheers. My parents watched Cheers.
Sure.
And as I've discussed before on here, if my parents watched it, that means I watched it.
I bet you're a
Because I
Woody
didn't get
man.
choices.
I bet you're a Woody man. You probably
When I started watching it on streaming and I saw Coach, I was like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Coach Ernie Pantuso.
Yeah, I mean, I know Coach now because, like I said, I've watched most of the
Yeah.
first season multiple times. But yeah, I definitely remember the later seasons. Because when did it start? 82?
82.
Okay, yeah. So I was born in 85.
And he didn't come in till like season 4 or 5.
Woody?
Woody.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was
so
brought
he
in
came
to
in about the
replace
time I was born.
the.
So he would have been the one on there when I was 6 or whatever, the time I can remember.
You would have
towards
grown
the
up
end.
with watching him.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Fred Ward's reconstructed face, which is just a mustacheless face.
Oh, sorry. One more segue. Producer on this movie? Dick Clark.
Oh, really?
As
like
in New Year's Rockin'
like
Eve.
the Dick
Yes.
Clark?
Yeah. Which I was
Wow.
like, okay, well, he also did that. He did was it not Megatron? Did he do Megatron? He did somebody on Transformers.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And
like
Transformers
the
had
cartoon,
a lot of
obviously.
yeah, the cartoon. And then Transformers had a lot of questionable race things, and so did this. So.
I mean, it's 85
Like
America.
Carbamia. Do you remember that episode?
No.
There's an episode where they go to a country called Carbamia. Just gonna leave that there.
Car bomb Mia. Got
yeah,
it.
Google it or don't.
God, don't use somebody else's phone
Put
to Google
your filters things on.
that. So I'm segueing back to the mustache.
Okay.
I recently rewatched Backdraft and completely forgetting that Kurt Russell plays his dad in that movie with a mustache. Like Kurt Russell without a mustache is him. Kurt Russell with a mustache is his dad. Like they don't even try to like age him up. They're like, just put the mustache on. Oh my god, I don't even recognize you.
We literally okay. I'm saying we literally just watched that, but I think we literally just watched it during COVID shutdown.
Yeah.
So we literally just watched it 3 years ago. I don't remember him playing his own dad. Maybe I didn't get that. I think it was when I had COVID, so I think I was in a fever.
I mean,
dream.
it is the first couple minutes of the movie and then done.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, blink and you miss
So
it.
it's
but
not like flashbacks.
yeah,
Okay.
no.
Got it.
It's the very beginning, and like even watching it with the bleeps, she's like, "That's Kurt Russell." I was like, "No, he doesn't play his dad." Holy shit, Kurt Russell's playing his dad. Anyway,
That's funny.
so yeah, now we
watch
get
that
this a guy that I thought was previous episode, the Hammer,
Yeah. This guy is nobody.
J.A. something.
J.A. Preston.
Preston.
He's playing Con McCleary, just Mac. He's in a couple things. He was in
I am
a few
Colin
good
McCleary
men.
from I'm a Highlander. I cannot be killed.
He's in a few good men. He's in Body Heat, but he's not in much. But yes,
No.
he looks very similar to Fred Ward, and I think it's mostly the mustache.
Yeah, and I wanted it to be Fred Ward, but so he wakes up. Fred.
Sorry,
Ward is,
not Fred Ward.
No, no.
Fred Ward is in this movie.
Yeah,
Fred Williamson
that's right.
is the Hammer.
Fred the Hammer Williamson.
God damn it. Too many Freds.
A lot of names, a lot of letters. So our guy Mac is handling a bedpan. I'm like, what are you doing going in a hospital room touching a fucking bedpan, you disgusting person? And then he's like, yeah, we faked your death. Your name is Remo Williams. We put a lot of thought into it. Looks onto the bedpan, Remo Williams.
Yeah.
You are named after potty-wear.
Also, so just real quick, the way he died was he saw someone running and was like, he's a cop, a beat cop. He saw someone running and he's like, no, this sandwich is good. I'll get him in a minute.
Yeah.
And then he saw more people running and he's like, oh man, I got to work. They're trying to call him and shit. And then he ends up getting pushed in the East River
By
I
Mac.
think. And and so
He's
we'll just skip
driving-
over that real quick. But I just love that he's like, that guy looks like he's running for his life.
Home. Mac is driving the vehicle from Jeepers Creepers, it looks like. I don't know where you got this. I don't know.
It's got the custom plates and everything. I don't know how that monster
did
got
Wilford
those.
Brimley fucking send you this?
Well, Wilford Brimley didn't do shit because Wilford Brimley doesn't stand up in this movie.
No, he
Wilford
doesn't.
Brimley is literally seated for the entire film.
Uh-huh.
And like usually you say that and you're like, well, but there's that part where they stood up. He
Nope.
never stands up. Even when he's watching this meeting later on with
Mac?
whatever
No,
her
not
name is,
Mac.
Mulgrove,
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew.
Voyager lady.
That's the one.
When he's watching the meeting, I was like, oh, he went to the meeting, but he's watching through like two-way glass or something. And then I realized, no, he's just watching on this computer. He never leaves his computer.
He's one of the original guys in the chair.
And this computer, much like the computer in the Thing that he uses a little bit there, can do things that no computer in 1985 could do.
Dude, all right, so let's get there real quick.
Yeah.
The
Sorry, we're all over the place on this one. This movie literally has nothing going on until the two scenes where it does.
Well, you say that, but there's a lot of training.
Well, yeah.
A lot.
And I mean, I guess there are certain people who would be happy to see people train.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's some fun fucking moments in that training.
There's a few things. Fred Ward, fuck. Fred
I should have
Ward
never brought him up.
goes to work for Wilford Brimley and Mac.
The Cure.
Cure, which I don't think they ever say what
Not
it
even
stands
the,
for.
but yeah. Yeah, I don't think they do.
No, it's not the Cure. He's
It's-
not working for Robert Smith. He's working for Wilford Brimley.
Friday, I'm in love.
By the way, you've brought up in the past how the picture of Wilford Brimley and Paul Rudd looking very different.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up for this episode.
What is he, like 38?
Wilford Brimley is 51.
Okay.
In this movie. Paul Rudd is 54 today.
Whew.
Paul Rudd is 3 years older than Wilford Brimley in this movie. Wilford Brimley looks a solid 30 years older than
I mean,
Paul
yeah, Paul Rudd looks a mite better than that, dude. Jesus Christ. It's probably because he stands up every now and then.
He doesn't have the diabetes.
Diabetes. From now on, though, I will be doing any impersonation of Wilford Brimley as his best role he's ever done, which is Hard Target. Goddamn
Yeah.
all.
That's a good one.
We
should
gotta
do that
wipe
one.
out the. We are the Cure, not the band, boy.
But yes, so he's working for the Cure, which did they say something about working for the president?
We have you. Let me guess. You answer to a higher power, or he says like we answer to. Are you held accountable? And he's like, yeah. He's like, let me guess, the president. He's like, yep. And the 5 before him, meaning like we work for the country, but that's pretty much it. Like they have full autonomy.
So this is based on a book series
Yeah.
called The Destroyer, which has like 150 plus books.
But they couldn't
Since
call it the
1971.
Destroyer because Marvel has the rights.
Yeah,
to,
Marvel owns some character called something the Destroyer, and they didn't
Uh-huh.
want to be
Sure.
whatever. But in that book series, so this organization was started by JFK to stop future threats.
So,
But I think it's like a JFK faked his death thing. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
this movie would be way more interesting if Wilford Brimley was just fat JFK.
absolutely. Goddamn all.
Or goddamn it.
or goddamn
But yeah, that would be more interesting. They cut out all the interesting stuff from like the backstory of this. It's just like this organization, hard quotes,
This
of
is
Mac, Wilford Brimley, and Fred Ward.
and a room of computers.
That's the organization. And then we have Chiun, who we meet shortly, who I don't know if he's officially part of the organization.
No, he's not.
He's like
No, he's hired by the Emperor.
he's Emperor Wilford Brimley.
Yeah. Goddamn all.
Goddamn all.
The Emperor was dead, long live the Emperor.
So they tell him he's got to kill people because they said so. Or I think first he gets there. We have to mention it because Reginald VelJohnson.
Oh, yeah.
He gets to Wilford Brimley because he leaves the hospital and he steals an ambulance. And Reginald VelJohnson.
Easy to spot. I mean, you're not even trying. It's
Yeah.
just him. And he for his second line, because first he's like, hey, where you going? And then he runs right up to camera and we get a beautiful tight shot of Reginald VelJohnson.
It's almost like he could have been his same character from Die Hard, but an ambulance driver.
And Bruce Willis gonna play this guy.
Bruce Willis was supposed to play this guy.
So
He tried out for it, and he was rejected because he wasn't recognizable enough.
Yeah.
My question on that is, how much more recognizable is Fred Ward?
Mm-hmm.
This is pre-Tremors.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. He was in The Right Stuff. That was before this.
Yeah, but he's also a fairly unknown.
Yeah, he's nobody. Like, I mean, I think
We're not despairing on the guy either.
No,
like,
he was in like Escape from Alcatraz and stuff, but he's like
Yeah.
a side character. He's not like a guy. Like, he's not a star. And that's one of my big problems with this is I don't feel like he has the
star power or charisma.
He doesn't have the charisma for the role.
Uh-huh.
And I think Bruce Willis would have. Also, this organization that's made up of elderly Wilford Brimley. I know he's only 51, but he looks elderly.
But he's not standing up.
And also elderly looking Mac. They recruited 42-year-old Fred Ward. I don't know how old he was, but he's not in his 30s.
I think he's in 1985 30s. It's a
I guess,
tougher 30.
You know what? He could solidly be 28 then.
Yeah, you don't know. We saw this guy's diet.
But like, yeah, he only eats what, Chef Boyardee and Hormel chili.
And any sort of street vendor he can find in New York. 85.
Every can has monosodium glutamate.
Can't even pronounce it. I can pronounce that turd. Doesn't mean I want to eat it. I will not be doing his voice.
Come on.
Oh,
We're not making fun of an Asian voice. We're making fun of a white guy doing an Asian voice.
Well, let's get there and we can
All right.
decide. Fuck.
So I'm not going to do it either. That's too much.
Be just as bad as them.
But yeah, he steals Reginald Vel Johnson's ambulance, and then Mac is in the back of it and puts a gun to his head because he knew he was going to steal that ambulance. And takes him to Wilford Brimley. And so they introduce him to the group.
The first part of this movie makes me think I'm going to like it a lot.
Yeah, it seems like it could be exciting.
It had feels of Cherry 3000.
2000.
2000, I'm ahead.
Cherry 3000 is the sequel.
We're writing it right now. No, it had feels of that goofiness and that fun, but then it just never delivered on it.
Yeah, and they tell him like, and at first I was like, wait, is the computer telling them who to kill? I didn't catch the president thing. I had to rewind it.
But I do think that their computer is telling them. I think that they are just government funded. The computer is algorithming.
All I could think of though was, did you ever see that movie Wanted?
Yeah. Oh, the
With
Loom.
James McAvoy. I was like, so this computer is the Loom?
Yeah.
And Wilford Brimley is Morgan Freeman.
So, and you had alluded to it earlier that this thing does things that computers did not do in 85.
No.
But it's pretty much what like they're doing now in movies where this computer can hack into all of our cell phone cameras and bank ATMs and use all these informations from Google and Amazon and figure out, I could tell you what temperature your ass is in that seat if I wanted to.
That's a line.
Is what Brimley says.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know a lot about asses on seats. It's kind of my specialty, I'm guessing.
I have to check my ass in the
About
seat all the
102?
time. The doctor says to check my ass temperature.
Not like that.
I use the computer. So, yeah, he gets recruited into this group, well, forcefully recruited. And basically they're like, and now you're going to work every day for the rest of your life. And they just take him to this building. There's no dossier.
There's no debrief.
There's no
or brief.
Yeah, anything about. They're just Mac hands him a gun and is like, go in there and kill a guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, got it.
And you know what? I'm going to give this guy credit. He checked the gun because I don't know you. I got to make sure you put fucking rounds in this thing.
Yeah.
So good on you, Fred. Walks in. He sees what we're going to call for now an elderly Asian man.
Real quick, Mac's line when he's about to go in there. He's like, remember, real quick, in and out, like a duck mating.
Ew.
Apparently they do it fast.
Hell yeah.
I guess because
ducks get down.
they get some ducktail. Woo.
Still stuck on my joke.
But yeah, so we go in and we meet an elderly Korean man.
The only part that you just said that's correct is man. Because he is not elderly. He is not Korean.
He's played by Joel Grey, whose biggest movie role was he was the master of ceremonies in Cabaret, if you've ever seen that.
I haven't.
It's a very good movie.
Okay.
I mean, you would probably hate it because it's musical.
Because it's a really good movie.
Well, it's musical.
Yeah, fair.
And it's a musical from the 80s. So,
Yeah.
you know. But it does have, she's in Arrested Development, the one that Lucy 2.
Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli.
Lucille 2.
Yes. Anyway, He's in that. He's in Cabaret as Master of Ceremonies. He's a big Broadway actor. He's a Broadway star.
I read that he turned this role down multiple times because he had zero martial arts training.
And he's not Asian?
Well, no, that's not why he turned it down. That surprisingly didn't come up. But he had a big problem. He's like, he has no martial arts training. And they're like, cool, we got you. Which just begs my question even more. Like, why aren't we getting an Asian dude? What? Why aren't we getting like a Pat Morita type in here? Actually, he wasn't martial arts trained either.
No, but you could have had Pat Morita, James Hong, Mako.
Mako would have been fucking great, dude.
Anybody. And you know what? I understand like those guys aren't Korean, but it would have been an Asian person.
Playing an Asian person.
It would have been actually really funny if they got a Chinese actor because of all the shit he talks about Chinese people later in this movie.
That would have been great.
But like, get an Asian actor because he's not even doing like a performance of like his kind of like the little bit I'm familiar with him. It's not his kind of performance. So just get an Asian guy to play this Asian character.
Yeah. He's not putting enough on it that it makes a difference.
I mean, it looks like an Asian guy in old man makeup, so it does look okay.
That's what I kept wondering at first. I was like, man, why do they have this dude in old man makeup? Are they going to de-age him in a flashback or something like that? And it's like, oh, no, he's just white.
Yeah, just a white guy that needs to be an old Asian man.
Yikes.
Sure.
So Remo Williams walks in and sees him, ignores him. It's not the guy I'm here to kill, obviously. Tries to go upstairs, door's locked. And then this is where we get a little bit of a troublesome line. Hey, you speaky English?
Yeah.
You know, it's a border.
He's like, what does he say? Something along the lines of like, does a nightingale sing?
I don't know. Does it?
What the fuck's a nightingale?
God,
I'm just a blue collar guy.
I'm Fred Ward. I don't know what a fucking nightingale is.
He's kind of like his character in Tremors.
Yeah. A little less dusty.
Less dusty.
But that's about it.
There's less dust in New York. It's wet there.
A lot less bacon.
But yeah, so fucking Joel Grey, looking like a Klingon from the original series Star Trek here, gets up and he's like, well, because Fred Ward's like, all I want to do is leave.
I just got to kill your boss and I'm out of here. He's like, I'm the only one
and
here.
Not even that. I think he was just like looking for a way out. I think he was just trying to get away. Because at first he's like, yeah, I'm looking for someone else I got to kill. But then he's like, how do I get out of here?
Uh-huh.
And that's when Joel Grey is like,
same way you came in, dude.
Same way you came in. And then later on, he's like, it's too late for that. And he's doing this like bullet dodging, kind of like the Matrix, but without slow motion.
So stupid.
It's so bad.
And I love it. I'm fucking laughing my ass off on accident. Like it is. This is a must watch to find this funny.
The one
so
cool
bad.
part is the part that Fred Ward's character is also impressed with, where he like grabs his gun and like pulls the clip out like in one fell swoop, and then just like pops all the bullets out, and then puts the clip back in, and then still steals the gun.
Yeah,
I was like, that's awesome.
It was a good move. No
and
martial
Fred
arts
Ward
training.
even says shortly, like, that's the part I liked. Teach me that.
Hey, remember that part of the movie that I really liked? Teach me how to do that, please.
Oh, we have another troublesome line from Fred Ward. He says, I'll show you chopsaki.
Oh yeah,
so
because he's making fun of kung fu or whatever this martial arts is. Like I got a little something for you called chopsaki.
Supposedly, so the martial art is called Shanju,
Sure.
something like that. It's made up.
Yeah,
I read a piece of trivia, internet trivia. So take it as you will. That there were people who had like put in resumes to try to do this role, and they were like, "Oh, I'm an expert in Shanju." It's made up. It's fake.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so then Mac comes in after they have this little tussle, and he's like, "Oh, it was all a test."
Little tussle. Fred Ward is diving himself across this room like an idiot. I mean, blooding his knuckles on the wall, hitting his head through a piano.
Oh yeah, and this guy's doing that whole like calm Asian guy, like, "Oh, I dodge."
You had said Matrix. I mean,
Yeah.
He's got his hands behind his back. He's dressed a little bit like Neo. I know that this is before, but
I mean, the Wachowskis probably watched this.
oh,
movie.
this is the Matrix, dude. And that's just how this guy sees himself.
Oh, that's why he looks like shit.
You see yourself as an Asian man? No, I see myself as a white dude pretending to be an Asian man. God, you got a fucked up ass head.
Even Joey Pants saw himself as himself.
Yeah.
Come on,
a
man.
better version of himself. Okay. I'm gonna look like me, but a little cleaner. More bald, better mustache.
I just want steak.
want steak. I'm gonna chew this fucking steak. Like I'm gonna chew this fucking scenery.
By the way, if I was stuck in a Matrix situation and I did take the pill that took me out, I'd be like, can you just put me back in?
Yeah.
I don't want this bean soup that you're serving every day. I want steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's fake. I don't care.
I don't want to hang out these holes in my body. It's weird.
Joel Grey, just jack me in, make me an Asian.
Okay, put me in the machine.
So then we find out about George Grove, who is, like I said, that was a test. I mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
It was all a test. He's going to train Fred Ward. We find out about George Grove, who's the villain.
They can't get a fucking lick on this guy.
This is kind of the only thing they do, like, that reminds me of, like, it makes me feel like someone was actually thinking about something in this movie.
Like a Bond-esque thing.
Yeah, almost. It's because it's like, oh, the military-industrial complex is bad.
Yeah.
This guy is selling weapons to the government. He develops weapons for the government, but he's mostly just trying to rip them off.
There is a mention of like a super satellite. That's kind of Bond-esque.
Called HARP, which you could have made it more Bond-esque. So HARP was it's a real government, it's a real conspiracy theory.
Okay.
There's a satellite called HARP with 2 A's that was a conspiracy theory that was like a government weather control satellite. Sounds like a Bond story to me.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Instead of this just calling it HARP and being like it's part of the Star Wars project.
So,
which, if for our younger listeners, was a Reagan era space defense thing that they tried to do, and they just were like, let's call it Star Wars because people like them movies.
Oh, I laughed at this because at one point he's getting in, and like the public loves him, the Star Wars guys love him, and I was like, ha, why?
Well, because he trains.
But then I realized it's not Star Wars that I watch.
Well, no, those Star Wars guys love him too.
Yeah.
That was their biggest complaint, the whole prequel or sequel trilogy, right?
They just love him because he's building an actual Death Star.
He's a man?
He's a man?
He's white?
Oh, these are my favorites. But so I got this off probably the same 100% real fact check that you did. The director says he had to rewrite the screenplay once he got it. So I'm wondering if this Bond screenplay writer did have more of what we're talking about.
So what I read was that the director claims that he wrote the screenplay in the first place.
Oh.
And then Christopher Wood came in and claimed he wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you know what? Don't try to take credit for the screenplay because, in my opinion, the weakest part of this movie is the screenplay.
They all said that before the movie came out, and then once it was released, like, no, I didn't write it. No, he's correct. He wrote the whole fucking thing.
Written by shruggy emoji.
Let's put it on Fred Ward. Yeah, Fred Ward wrote this. I did not.
We find out about him, and we get Fred Ward is going to learn Shanju, which is the original martial art that all martial arts are based on.
Before karate, before
because
kung
every
fu.
Asian country is the same.
Uh-huh.
And they all just based all their stuff on one martial art from Korea.
Called Sure Enough.
Called Shonuff. That's a different movie. We did that one too.
That's an enjoyable movie.
And I do love Joel Grey pretending to be an Asian, making a lot of negative comments about how white people suck and Koreans are the best people on the earth.
Like, I don't know if you can say that.
He's like, one of his lines, "You did not ask to be white. Perhaps it's not your fault."
True.
And then the Koreans are the most perfect creature to ever walk the earth, or something along those lines.
I'll fast forward ahead because it doesn't matter. But he says the line, like, he's like, "How's the training coming?" He's like, "Man, nature did him a huge disservice by not making him born Korean."
Yeah.
Like, that's just, it's a shame. It's a shame that you weren't born Korean.
Yeah, it's a shame that no one in this movie
It's a
was
shame
born
that you
Korean.
weren't born Korean, motherfucker. I don't think you're allowed to talk about people not being born in Korea, Joel.
So then we have Kate Mulgrew, who's doing like her own like JAG movie off to the side.
Yeah.
Where she's in charge of testing the weapons or overseeing the tests for the weapons that Grove is making. She's playing Major Rainer Fleming.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like is also supposed to be like a James Bond nod because Ian Fleming wrote James Bond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe.
I didn't catch that.
Either that or no.
I give zero shits about Bond, honestly.
I don't like James Bond.
Before our time and just not good.
I grew up loving GoldenEye for one reason and one reason alone.
Nintendo 64?
Yeah.
You betcha.
I saw all those Pierce Brosnan ones like in theaters.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly because my parents were like, we're going to go see this.
Still couldn't give a shit about him, though.
I don't care.
But,
anyway.
yeah, so she's supposed to be just, the general that she answers to is on the take. And she's supposed to just shut up and do your job. And you know what? Just because you're a woman, don't mean you don't have to overdo your job. It means nothing to me that you're a woman.
Yeah.
And she snaps back with a great line.
Yeah, she's like, well, that's good because it makes no difference to me that you're a man.
And got him by the goat.
So they have to test these AR-60 guns because that's creative. Which I found this in the trivia, and I was like,
they
Jack will
are
appreciate
based on
this.
real guns.
Now I'm going to say all this wrong.
Go
so
ahead.
You correct me, but it's actually a Steyr, Steyr.
Yeah.
Steyr AUG bullpup with a custom flash hiders.
Oh, the flash hider.
That's what the IMDb told me. There's always someone on IMDb who knows.
Dude, there's actually an internet movie firearm database.
That makes sense. There's also one for cars.
Cars too, yeah. Absolutely.
That's kind of that. Oh, and also there's like another officer who's like flirting with her mercilessly, so you can see that she's just like, good God, man.
Swarmy as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He's touching her fingers like you can't hack in. You got too cold of fingers.
Girls have cold hands. That's sexy, right?
But here's the only story part that matters. She can't get into a file about HARP.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But she does have to leave to go check out these M60s. And sure as shit, one blows up in beautiful fashion right in this guy's face.
He like breaks off from the rest of the group for some reason. And then he's like, my gun's not working. And they're all making fun of him for not being able to fire a gun.
Yeah.
And that shit explodes and it just blows his head off.
And I mean, it's fucking awesome.
One of like, what, 2 deaths in this movie? Well, aside from, I guess, 3 at the end too, but...
Yeah, it's very deathless for the most part, but that's his job. His job is to assassinate one person and make it look like an accident. Because even Chun starts telling him, he's like, we've been doing this for a long time, dude.
Yeah.
Like, my people assassinated Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan,
Robin
Hood.
Who's a real person.
Yeah, right. All of a sudden, are you sure Wood first? He named a couple others.
Napoleon?
No, Napoleon died in his bed. He's like, yeah, it looked like it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Finger tense?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Should have gotten Mike Myers to play this fucking part. Oh, you think he died in his bed? Wait, nope, wrong accent, Mike. No, I'm sticking with this one.
I mean, Mike Myers did do a better Bond ripoff.
Yeah, he did.
So
Midas 22.
at least that first one, maybe the second one.
I remember liking all of them when I watched them. Couldn't tell you.
I remember going to see the third one, and even while I was watching it, being like, well, this isn't very good. But then we left being like, no, that was really funny.
Yeah, I bet you wouldn't like it now.
I love gold. No one cares.
Freaky deaky Dutch.
I don't even know if I'd like the first one now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
I don't want to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to let them live in my head very well.
Maybe we'll do it on here.
Oh, so the M60 that this dude goes face down into the water.
AR-60.
Oh, I'm so sorry. AR-60. This dude goes face down into the water, and then some soldier comes to help him, but you can tell that the actor is like running out of air because he keeps picking his fucking head up to breathe. It's like, no, lay down. You're supposed to be dead. If I'm down here anymore, I'm going to be dead.
Dead people don't breathe. And we get like...
I'm not dead yet.
And we go back to this like loft that they're living in.
Yeah.
And like...
It's this new girl.
Chun is obsessed with soap operas because that's funny.
The
it's
only
1985.
contribution that your country has ever made to the arts is soap operas.
And I disagree, but also agree.
It has everything. It's got family. It's got drama. It's got love.
I mean, I don't watch his afternoon soaps, but I watch Melrose Place. Same thing.
God, I watch Renegade and you watch trash TV. I said it.
But that's kind of a running joke throughout the thing. Like later on in the movie, there's the part where he's watching it when Fred Ward comes home, but he's like holding himself up on his fingers.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't actually teach martial arts in this movie.
No,
he teaches magic.
He has him strengthen his fingers. I think that's the idea is you get so good it looks like magic, but really you just have, well, what does he say?
It's all the pressure point
you
stuff. And like,
you are only using a small amount of your body and brain. We need to get you to use more. That's the secret to...
Yeah, but there's also
shiitake.
the part where, like, you know, he walks on water. Fred Ward also kind of walks on water.
That's using chi.
Yeah, okay. That's magic.
No, it's energy inside your body that already exists. You unlock through fucking meditation and practice.
It's like just stereotypical Asian mysticism, though.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Like, he's like, kicking? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Poke this piece of wood.
There's a couple moments where Chun will like just flitter one of his limbs and make it seem like he kicked or punched Fred Ward.
Yeah.
Because he's so fast we don't see it kind of thing.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Chion's other running joke throughout the whole thing is talking shit about fat Americans, basically.
Uh-huh.
Because he says something about like, oh, it looks like the deadly cheeseburgers got you already.
Do you know why they call it fast food? Because it speeds Americans to their graves.
Yeah.
And he laughs. He's like, he's like, it's just as I feared. You have no sense of humor.
I mean, I guess he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Come on, dude. You ever had a fucking cheeseburger? Shut up.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I'm like 15,000 years older than this fucking guy by cheeseburger age.
15,000 cheeseburgers ahead of him.
Yeah. Oh, I do like, and we're jumping all around, but I just kind of want to talk about the things that worked for me. And at one point he says, "How old are you? You are old, right?" And he's like, "For an apricot? Yeah. For a head of lettuce, even more so. But for a mountain, I am just beginning my age."
So I'm like, is that though another like Asian thing where it's like, I can't tell how old he is because he's Asian.
No, I think that he's just supposed to be like and the joke is said, a walking fortune cookie.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, you're not old for
that's
for
when
a
he
mountain.
says talk shit about Chinese because he's like, oh, you might as well be a Chinese or do you
Fortune-
always talk like a Chinese fortune cookie?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, the fucking Chinese. And I'm like, well, calm down there,
Yeah,
Joel Gray.
Calm down, Joel.
So Fred Ward does have this thing where he has to like go up these, like do this balance exercise.
It's one of two things. It's either the board game Mousetrap in your loft, or it's a Rube Goldberg device to get up to the stairs.
Yeah, because he comes downstairs to get up to his thing, and then he goes up these poles that are progressively smaller. It's not like the last one is literally like a pencil thin.
I don't mind this part.
No, and it does kind of come back during the what I think is probably the best scene of the movie, the Statue of Liberty scene.
Uh-huh.
Because he's got
and I think this scene is shot well of him balancing and stuff. Like, I don't know, the camera on the foot and then him, it looks good enough for me.
Yeah. It doesn't look like he's being held up by a rope, which he probably is.
No, I'm sure he is, but you don't see
I mean,
it.
he's not a dude balancing on a pencil, but,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, we saw Chun do it.
well, and if the guy in makeup can do it, anybody can do it. And then they have this thing where he's training him and he takes him to this, it's a real thing, I guess, but this terrifying Ferris wheel.
Oh, that swings and rolls.
The Wonder Wheel?
I've been on ones like this.
It's at Coney Island, I guess, but like
okay.
some of the carts like slide in and out while
They
the
have a track
wheel
they
goes
go
around.
on inside of the wheel.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's
I
pretty
don't know
fun.
if I trust that.
I want to say that the California Adventure Disneyland has that now, but I could be wrong.
It's just, I was watching it and I was like, I wouldn't get on that.
Well, and back to the stunts looking good. Here's a real person on the back of this fucking Ferris wheel cart.
Yeah, he's on top of the ones that's not sliding. And it does say on the side, this cart does not swing as the cart is swinging. And I'm like, I know what you mean.
But it's swinging.
Swing is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he's
so
in one of the stationary ones.
Yes.
That, like, it rotates with the Ferris wheel, but it doesn't slide on a track.
Uh-huh.
And he has to, like, dodge the sliding ones. And I'm like, this is a terrible way to train somebody. If you fuck up your training, you just wasted weeks of time.
Oh, this guy gives no fucks, dude. You weren't worthy of Shisha.
Yeah, you were worthy of Shaolin.
I do like how he says, "Oh, Jesus." He goes, "What? You should be training. This is no time for prayer." Couple little funny ones.
When Fred Ward brings home the groceries and he has like the Chef Boyardee and the Hormel chili or whatever, and Chun tells him to leave to go get rice because he
stashes
quote unquote forgot the
But he
rice.
stashes a couple cans of goodies on top of the cabinet.
Yeah, which they don't come around, but I'm like, Chun saw that.
Exactly. I was waiting for Chun to be like, "Hey, go get the rice and take those fucking cans down."
Yeah.
Or throw them at him.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Instead of throwing cans at him, he fires a gun at him.
If you can dodge a can of soup, you can dodge a bullet. I don't think that's how that works, man.
So wait, now we got Rip Torn and yellow face makeup? I don't know about that. Joel Grey might be less problematic.
Do I have to drink my own urine? No, I do it because it's sanitary and I like the way it tastes.
So yeah, he shoots at him and so we see that he's learning. He's learning how to dodge. He's learning how to jump up poles.
But back to your credit, if you didn't do it right, you're going to kill him because he goes, if you can dodge 6 bullets, that's something, because he successfully dodges them.
Yeah, he's like, only 2 bullets. That's pathetic.
Cocks the gun again. He's like, you used the other 4 yesterday, and pulls the trigger and a bullet comes out because guess what you can do? reload a gun between yesterday and today, but it just misses Fred Ward. It's like, man, if that kills him.
Turns out it takes less than 24 hours to reload a revolver.
Yeah, just found that out. I got to go home real quick. I've been throwing those things away.
Mulgrew, she like challenges Grove at this meeting. That's kind of like progressing the story that's actually going on.
But she barely does, and he does that fucking slime ball thing because she's like, hey, what's up with that project? I've been defending America ever since. I love America, and how dare you? And she's like, I didn't question your patriotism, dude. I just want to know where the money is.
It only really matters because this is the meeting that Wilford Brimley's watching, and it's when he goes, hey, that chick could probably help us.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like him either.
Because for whatever reason, Cure cannot get a beat on this guy.
Yeah.
They've gotten everybody else they've ever wanted, but they even say, like, if we can't get anything on him, you know he's good.
We have another training montage of Fred Ward on the beach.
Oh
where
my God.
He's like running on the beach, and he just dives into a pile of sand like a fucking cartoon rabbit.
Which is, it's already comicky enough, and then he fucking erupts like cartoon lava from the top of this sand mound.
I would expect him to turn around to Chun and be like, I guess I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Exactly, dude. This is classic Fred Ward Bugs Bunny. I did love it, though. I don't know why, but I'm watching him run. I'm like, this is kind of like Rocky. And then he does that fucking like 90-degree turn and dives into the sand pile. I'm like, this is nothing like Rocky.
And then Chun is telling him like, oh, he's not telling him. He's saying it to himself, but he's like, don't use just run on your toes, like float. And then they show that he's running and he's not leaving footprints anymore, like fucking Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi.
Much like Jesus in that one poem.
Oh yeah. No, Jesus left the footprints. It was you that stopped leaving footprints because he was carrying you.
I'm a recovering Catholic, so I believe that Jesus like gave up and jumped on my back. Like, you only see that one set of footprints. Yeah, fuck yeah, I do, because I'm the one walking
that
here.
One set of footprints is when you still had that monkey on your back.
It was me.
And also, Chun in this scene is kind of dressed like a pimp / grandmother.
Granny pimp, come on, Fox.
Like he's got like this. It's like a shawl wrapped around him, except for it's like flamboyant and like gold embroidered, and like I don't know what the fuck.
This wardrobe is stolen from Golden Child and then touched up on the set of Saturday Night Fever. I don't know how they got that, but it happened.
They went to the future, got it, took it back. Chun tells Mac, like, yeah, no, he's going to be ready real soon. He's almost done. He'll be ready in about 15 years.
What, 15 years?
Well, we need him like this weekend.
Well, okay, if I cut some corners, I can make it like 14 and a half years. Jesus
They're like, okay, well, you can keep training him, but we need him this weekend.
Yeah, which also I kind of think that's good. Like, go let this guy see what he's been doing in the field. If you had me doing this BS training where it took me forever and I'm just punching or poking wooden things with my fingers, I wouldn't feel like I was getting a lot accomplished. But if all of a sudden you're like, hey, let's go do a raid and watch how badass you are, I'm like, fuck, dude, let's go do more of that rice eating and finger punching.
That sounded way too sexual for
but
what
that's
you
all
said.
I see him doing in his fucking loft is rice eating.
Rice munching and finger punching.
Rice munching, finger punching. Those Duke boys are at it again.
They like Fred Ward is preparing him dinner after this whole conversation, and I only mention it because I like the comment where he's like, sometimes I could kill you, or sometimes I really like you, Chun. And he's like, of course, I'm Chun. He's like, but sometimes I want to kill you. He's like, yeah, we'll practice after dinner.
Yeah, we'll practice that.
I did like that one. That was funny.
Yeah,
I got a genuine laugh.
That's the thing. There is a movie here. You said it earlier. You left all the shit parts or the boring parts, and you took out any semblance of action or story.
Yeah, there's a movie somewhere.
Yeah, it's on the floor.
Like if they had cut this into the scenes that weren't boring, it would only be a 70-minute movie. But it wouldn't make any sense.
So I'll say it right here. I guess this movie did not feel that long. ... At first. Like the training, I think everything went well. I think it was going smooth. The last 45 minutes of this movie are just too much. It's too long.
Two scenes. Like we have one more scene to discuss real quick, and then the next scene, which is the first real action scene, is 63 minutes into this movie.
Yeah.
The first action scene is 63 minutes into a 121-minute movie.
The gall.
Good God.
Like, how fucking dare?
So Mulgrew goes to get something in New York. Who could possibly care? And she goes to meet this colonel or somebody, and it's actually Mac in disguise as a colonel.
Or is he a colonel?
Or maybe he is.
Because
I don't know.
we do know that he served. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it could be that he actually is a colonel.
Maybe, yeah. And then they've set her up a little bit because Fred Ward meets her in the elevator and kind of flirts with her a little bit. And she's, as we've already seen, she's over this shit, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like saying something. He's like, hey, how's it going? Or whatever. And she's just like, ugh. And he's like, hey, nice uniform. Nice buttons.
She just starts laughing. Buttons.
Yeah. So, he's charming her.
I figured that they knew she was being followed now, or thought they might make an attempt on her life, and that's why he's there. That was my thought. But I'm doing work.
I think it's because Wilford Brimley was like, hey, she can help us. Like she
Get
clearly,
the woman, goddamn up.
Yeah, I think they're like testing the waters to see if like she'd be willing to help them maybe or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, again, here we are both doing work.
That nobody else in this movie did.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to make it.
But Fred Ward does kind of protect her here because this guy Stone, who we discussed, Patrick Kilpatrick, is. I don't know if they ever say his name is Stone except at the very, very end of the movie.
No,
but I got it from IMDb because he's got a rock in his mouth. Get it? Stone.
I mean, we're talking about Jaws, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking about the tin grin,
exactly.
Jaws from all the other Bond movies, who's awesome, but this guy's not. You should give him one solid tooth of diamond. Someone bedazzled this guy's front
and
tooth.
it's not even centered, and it really drives me insane. Like, call Paul Wall, have him help you.
I believe you have his number.
Well, that's Mike Jones's number, but he's got Paul.
Well, he
Wall's
can get
number.
you to Paul Wall.
Yeah, you just call.
You don't think they're hanging out?
330-8004. You can hit Mike Jones up on the low, and Mike Jones can get you to Paul Wall.
That's how he answers the phone. Mike Jones.
Is it really? Is it fucked up that I know Mike Jones's phone number?
Oh, very much so.
Okay, good.
I was gonna let that one go, but yeah, it's rough that you knew it so well. I mean, anybody listening, he's not looking at his phone. That was off the fucking dome, dude.
Yeah, I know it. I gotta hit Mike Jones up on the low because Mike Jones about to blow.
Wear that shit proudly, dude.
I do love so he does block the car so she can get in her cab and get away, and he's kind of blocking this guy from following her. But while this whole scene is going on, across the street there's like a park and like a bus station. The bus station is full of people who are all clearly watching this movie.
I didn't notice.
These people are all standing there watching what's going on. It's great. And this other cop shows up, and this is another chance to have anything be a background story for Fred Ward or whatever. Because this cop shows up. I
thought she was a meter maid.
Yeah, well, still a cop, technically. Yeah. They're the worst, second worst behind motorcycle cops. But the
worst.
But she is technically a cop. But have her be like, hey, don't I know you? Or something like that. Because he was a cop.
Yeah.
He was a beat cop.
And we're in New York.
Yeah.
Still.
I mean, New York is a big city and everything. And not everybody knows everybody. But maybe she recognizes him vaguely.
If a cop dies, you're probably going to read about that as another cop.
Hey, did you used to have a mustache?
You know what? You look like a guy I knew that got plastic surgery or no mustache.
You got a plastic mustache. Wait,
you know what?
I read the script wrong.
It was that line they threw in there just to why wouldn't she recognize him? Plastic surgery.
Yeah.
We said it.
Yeah, because he looks nothing like he did at the beginning of the movie.
He used to look like John Bernthal. Now he looks like Fred Ward.
So that kind of stops them from tracking her. So now Grove is getting pictures of Mulgrew and Ward
and Mac.
And he's like, all right, well, let's just kill them because we don't know who they work for.
Yeah, shake the tree, see what bodies fall.
Yeah, and his lawyer or whatever, his sidekick guy, Wilson, is like, well, yeah, I shook all the trees. He's like, all right, well, then shake the one where you murder them.
Yeah. Start playing dirty, dude. You remember Tennessee.
As you folks know, we like to have a beer or three while we podcast, and sometimes that leads to a not so pleasant morning after, unless we remember to hydrate, people. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it's now available in sugar-free with a proprietary zero sugar solution that has no artificial sweeteners. I love using Liquid IV because it comes in convenient little packets you can take with you, makes me feel rejuvenated and hydrated, and best of all, all, it actually tastes good. Just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just water alone, thanks to the 8 vitamins and nutrients it has, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of those other sports drinks. We love Liquid IV so much that we're offering you, our loyal listeners, a steal of a deal. Get 20% off when you grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free, or any other variant at liquidiv.com and use the code WORSTPEOPLE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code WORSTPEOPLE at liquidiv.com. And then we get the action scene. So Chun takes him up to the Statue of Liberty, which was under construction at the time. So this scaffolding makes sense.
Yeah.
They were doing.
It looks like real shots and also non. Like it looks like they were filming on location.
So I was reading about this, and it's actually really cool. And I guess it got left behind. But so the Statue of Liberty was under construction. They had the scaffolding, which is why the writer or director, whoever actually wrote this, I don't remember. I read a thing.
No one's fessing up.
He was saying like this is why he thought up this scene, because he saw the scaffolding and he's like, that would be cool. Because it was under construction for like a centennial or bicentennial or something of the statue. I don't know how old it is. I'm from Arizona.
It would have been the centennial because we got it in the 1780s from France.
Okay, so it would be the bicentennial.
Isn't centennial?
Centennial's 100.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, yeah. I just said we're from Arizona.
See, bad at math.
Hey, graduated high school in Arizona, so that's great.
That's how I've gotten so far in life.
But yeah, they were redoing it for that. But then there's a section of the statue that they rebuilt for a lot of the close-up shots in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so a lot of the stuff that's like the really close, like
when he's
on the
on the
scaffolding
torch.
stuff. Yeah, like this distant stuff is really shot on the Statue of Liberty.
But the close-ups
and then the close-up stuff
okay.
is shot on the set they built in Mexico, which was a recreation, like down to the. It was a good recreation as far as I know. I've never been that close to the Statue of Liberty, but based on Ghostbusters 2, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it because it wasn't dancing.
It wasn't. No one. I'm sorry. No one filled my Lady Liberty with goo so she could dance.
Oh, I must sticky if it's goo. Yeah, you get all those New Yorkers to be fucking cheery and sing a song. No, sir, not unless the Yankees are in the World Series. Even then, half of New York's pissed.
But like, apparently they left that set behind, as happens to a lot of movies.
I
would have loved to have just been on a road trip in Mexico and been like, is that like a third of the Statue of Liberty?
I think we're lost.
Is that the Statue of Liberty's boobs?
How long was I sleeping for?
We took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Fred Ward just pops up. Bloop. Took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. I do want to do a quick shout out to the gone but not forgotten Twin Towers you do get to see in the distance.
Yeah.
I just always like seeing stuff like that, the pre 9/11, it's in shows like Friends and whatnot.
Wait till we do Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
1993.
If you can find it.
Oh, I have it.
Oh, man.
I have it on Blu-ray, and spoiler alert, in January, I'll have it on 4K.
Ooh, child.
Thanks to Umbrella Entertainment. They're not paying me.
Not a sponsor.
But anyway, I bought it because I'm a fool.
Nice. No. Smart man.
Well, no, I already owned it on Blu-ray.
I'll buy the Blu-ray off you.
So I'm a fool for buying the 4K. But it's fine. I needed to see all those details.
Yeah.
I need to see Dennis Hopper's little mullet thing,
Like,
or whatever he's got. His little not
cornrow,
cornrow like
mohawk.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. The other M1,
but it's multiple mohawks.
Oh, that's right. It is.
It's
like
weird.
a blonde cornrow.
Yeah,
like 3 of them, right?
Three.
They look like fins. Or
They
something.
do. That's what they're going for.
It's a dinosaur.
The back of a Dimetrodon, my third favorite dinosaur.
I hope that's real.
It is.
Good.
Dimetrodon, yeah, it's the one with the big fin in the back. It uses the fin to collect moisture out of the air and keep it cool.
Okay.
Yeah, now you know.
Now you know. So there's this chase on the scaffolding. These, like, the most corrupt construction workers in New York, I guess.
Dude.
Because this guy Stone pays them. But he's like, hey, there's a dude up there. Kill him.
I thought this was going to be like a, hey, loosen a bolt or take a crane and like accidentally swipe part of the scaffolding. They turn into professional hitmen. Like, I mean, I'm talking about swinging ropes and like ropes with hooks on the end of it. Did you notice an appearance from a Scrubs character?
I did not.
Knife wrench. Knife wrench. It's when, like, a little bit later after all this scaffolding thing happens, this guy's stabbing into the cage. I'm like, where did he get a fucking knife from? And it's just the end of a wrench sharpened to be a knife. Like, what construction site is this?
Yeah, this guy was like, I want you guys to kill that guy. And he's like, oh, I've got a sharpening stone up here. I'll just get going on this knife, on this wrench real quick.
Do you guys have anything? I got knife wrench. You just had that? Yeah. It's New York, dude.
I got to walk home.
What if there's a bum up here? This is pre-Giuliani.
But I think Chion takes him up there to chase pigeons. Basically, it's to test his balance.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is the highest point that he can get to, really, for now.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think you're allowed to walk on the edge of the Empire State Building.
No.
Pretty sure it's frowned upon.
Also, he wants more platforms instead of just one big rooftop.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. And they're talking shit, and they're like, "Well, you're gonna." And he's like, well, "I'll just get down, guys." And they're like, "Yeah, you will, the short way." And they start kicking this.
No,
like,
it's still the
panel.
same distance. It's just quicker. Like, did you mean to say the quick way?
I mean, technically, it'd take longer to go down those scaffoldings. It'd be the longer way.
Sure, I'm just measuring distance down. You know, like
Verticality is the same.
Yeah,
yes.
vertically speaking.
Yeah, they're trying to kill him, and like a bag of tools falls, and they think it's him. So they're like, okay, well, he's dead. Let's all get in this elevator.
I was kind of hoping it would have been something he did, like with his
yeah, I
quick
thought that he
hands.
was like faking his own, because he falls.
Yeah.
And then they show a shot of this bag of tools hitting the ground. And then, or whatever it is, bag of sandwiches. I don't know.
Bag of sandwiches.
They're construction workers. They're hungry.
How do you order your food? Excuse me, I would like a bag of sandwiches.
I'd like one burlap sack of sandwiches.
No.
please.
Get the big trash bag under the sink. I don't want the to-go bag.
I'm very hungry.
I need a bag of sandwiches.
They're construction workers. They're hungry boys.
What about the term bag of sandwiches made you think I wasn't hungry?
Good God, I'm dying. Okay.
It's probably all those bags of sandwiches.
I'm 15,000 bags of sandwiches ahead of you.
That's great.
So he ends up attacking these like goons in the elevator.
Beat 'em up, guys.
And they are beat 'em up guys. And so he's like, he hits one in the head, and he like slams one's head in like the gate.
Yep.
The other guy,
He throws this rope over his neck.
he wrapped this rope around this guy's neck, and he pushed him out the side. And I was like, thank God he killed somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a thing you say often.
No, but
in
they
a
were trying to
movie-
kill you.
In a
They
movie,
started
he
it.
should be killing somebody.
Yeah.
Especially if he wants to be James Bond.
It's especially self-defense.
I guess the thing is, he's blue collar James Bond. White collar James Bond can get away with murder.
he doesn't
Blue
kill
collar James
construction
Bond
workers.
goes to jail.
Yeah, he doesn't have that hot lawyer money.
But yeah, he pushes this guy out the side, but then when they cut to the outside shot, the guy's hanging from his ankle. And I'm
Yep.
like, that's not where that
Well,
rope
because
went.
after I saw him throw him off, and again, around his neck, I thought when he closed that guy in, I was like, maybe he snapped his fucking
That's why I thought
spine.
they were going for him. Like, okay, he hung this guy, and he's breaking this guy's neck, even though this thing is clearly
PG-13, is that what we said?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're like, we can sell this to more people if we don't cut to a construction worker hanging.
I think he did wrap it around his neck for sure, and that was like a reshoot or like
We got to
something
make it
like-
clear that he's
Yeah.
not just throwing
Although he
people.
does just turn around. I mean, he doesn't technically murder this next guy, but this guy is dead. The next guy who drowns in concrete.
Because once again, these other construction workers don't do a fucking thing.
No, Fred Ward is running away, and he does his little twinkle toes thing right over the top of this wet concrete. So the other guy is like, I can run on this.
Yeah.
Right into it like it's a fucking bucket of soup. Sure. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of.
Excuse me, can I get a trash can of soup to go with my bag of sandwiches?
I need one dumpster of Italian wedding soup,
I
please.
need a hot tub full of soup. Minestrone, I'm watching my weight.
No, Manhattan clam chowder, because the cream just doesn't do it for me in the New England.
Yeah.
Uh,
New England clam chowder. Sorry, Ace Ventura, go on.
But this guy falls in, and he goes under, and you just see like a blurp, like a bubble coming up. This is not a quick way to die.
no, this is slow.
Yeah, this guy is not like you fell into, I don't know, acid or something like that.
Poison.
It's not like the end of Terminator 2 where he's sinking into a smelting thing.
It's not a smelting pot full of soup.
It's not a bowl of hot soup. He falls into concrete, and all these other construction workers, not concrete workers, stare at him, and they're just like, "Huh,
Oh,
that's rough."
looks like he's dying.
I would help him up, but my wrench has a knife on the other side. If I put that out, he's going to grab the knife and cut himself.
we had a sign up that says, don't fucking go here. And he went there. How you supposed to learn if you don't die?
And so this guy is slowly drowning in concrete, which sounds like the worst way to die.
It's up there. It's up there.
If you drown, you take water into your lungs. Could you imagine trying to like gasp for air and you're just taking concrete into your lungs?
No, thank you. We already talked about no New England clam chowder.
And I guess the construction workers thought is, that guy was never here. I don't know.
He ain't union.
That's not the first body I've seen go into some concrete. So.
This must have come from upstairs. We do this a lot, actually. A lot of bodies in New York is under the Czech Yankee Stadium.
So Fred Ward goes back to Cure, which this is the first time I heard Cure, by the way.
Yeah.
They might have said it earlier. I
don't think so. I caught it here as well. And just
70 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, 70 minutes in.
And Wilford Brimley discusses this plan they have for if they get caught to all kill themselves.
Why?
So, I don't know.
Like, why? What?
Cyanide tooth kind of thing, you know?
Yeah,
CIA
I just don't really
cyanide
understand.
tooth.
I thought he was trying to like fake his death because he's like, well, they'll find a body here, his body. But then it gets to Mac and he's like, yeah. And they'll find his body dead in his office at Crosstown. They'll find a man with his head blown off.
At a haberdashery, by the way.
At a haberdashery.
He's going to go to a hat shop to shoot himself.
That's not proper etiquette.
But Wilford Brimley isn't just faking his death because he's got the pill
No,
and
he's
a
got the
necklace
pill.
around his neck, like a
Yeah.
little chain around his neck. And then Fred Ward's like, well, what about me? And they're like, Chian will take care of you. So now Chian's out of the movie because Fred Ward goes back to the house and Chian's like, hey, are you mad? Yeah, I might kill you, but don't be mad.
Yeah.
And he takes his shit and leaves.
And this is where he says, if the emperor, he's like, he's not a fucking emperor.
Yeah. He's literally just Wilford Brimley in a chair.
I am no emperor, goddamn.
He's Chairford Brimley.
I like that.
But yeah, so Chian will kill him, so he takes all his shit and he leaves. And then he still partners up with these. I thought he was like leaving the organization, but immediately he's back with Mac. And they're infiltrating the Grove Industries like facility.
Well, because I think they say like we can't stop him, but you can. Like I don't really get that. Like why can you guys not do anything, but your fucking lowest level newest member Fred Ward can?
Mac mentions that he was trained by Chun too
A long time
and
ago.
then Fred Ward's like, can you dodge bullets? He's like, only if they're real slow. So they're like, well, you're the young one. You're only 47.
Yeah. You spring chicken. You haven't even gotten your HARRP card.
So they go into they go into Grove Industries, not Harp Industries. And
here's
his
the
Doberman pinchers are chasing Fred Ward.
Before that, here's the one gadget.
Yeah.
There's an electric fence, and fucking Mac is just running pliers in his hand across it, sparking no reaction. You know, he's like, did Chun teach you that?
Personnel mine.
Anti-personnel
in
mine
Korea.
in Korea, yep.
Which must be where he met Chun.
Absolutely. Chun probably saved his life because, he was a...
Or we could just say it like Wilford Brimley says it. Instead of Chun, we could say Chun.
Chun.
you know
script,
Chun.
goddamn.
You know Chun. Like as he says later, that slant-eyed fella.
Yeah, he definitely throws a slur right out.
Oof.
I think he's even said like your slant-eyed friend. Like,
Yeah.
God damn. So you recognize he's my friend and you're still going to throw shade on him?
You introduced me to him. Yeah. He's your friend too.
You also are friends with this human being.
Turns out 100% of people are people.
Yeah. Ooh, weird.
So yeah, Fred Ward they go into this place and these Doberman pinchers start chasing him and it's kind of great. This is my favorite part of the whole movie besides the Statue of Liberty scene.
Besides the pile of sand for me.
Because these dogs are velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
They are clever girls.
Yeah, he climbs up a thing. He's like, yeah, try getting me now. These dogs literally look at each other. One goes up a set of stairs. The other two go over and jump up and bite this ladder.
Like a fire escape type ladder.
And they pull the ladder down and they climb up the ladder. And I'm just like, oh, Fred Ward, you should just give up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm relegating myself to death.
And this guy, Grove, apparently also has trained attack rats.
Uh-huh.
Because these rats, Fred Ward's trying to get away, and these rats crawl up his pants and start biting his dick.
Yeah.
And
government conspiracy, dude. Dick attacking rats.
I hear
dick
birds
rats.
aren't real. Apparently rats aren't real either.
Yeah, rats are real motherfuckers. Government rats, dude. Look it up.
But like when Fred Ward is trying to climb up the side of the building too, like the dogs are coming after him, right? He closes like a fence thing and he goes up And then the dogs are at the top, and I was like, all I could think of was, we're going to cut them off at the pass.
Cut him off at the pass.
I hate that saying. Or I hate that cliche.
It's Headley.
And then he does get into the facility where the HARP satellite is.
He gets there by tightrope walking.
Well, he goes up through like a chimney.
Well, I only bring up the tightrope walking unless I'm jumping a bit ahead.
I think it's right. The tightrope's right after this. So
okay,
the tightrope's
so go
after.
ahead.
Yeah, because he goes up this like chimney thing. I don't know.
Exhaust
He ends
hood.
up on a roof, and then he ends up in a room. Question mark? I don't know.
I'm not an architecture.
And there's I'm not an architecture.
I'm not an architecture. I am an excited.
And there's this satellite, and immediately he gets attacked by like death lasers, and it's the only like visual effect in this movie.
This was the budget. This was it, dude.
And they blow up the satellite, but then you show this building from a distance, and this is a huge explosion.
Oh, it's a big bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Yeah, we get a distant big bada boom.
And it didn't look like it was imposed either, which is cool. They blew something up.
Hey, this movie does a couple things right.
Blowing things up
Blowing
is most
things
of it.
And
And then when he's trying to get away,
so that's it. He's
and it's not even like a
tightrope.
tightrope. It's like a piece of rebar that's like across these two buildings.
I think it's almost like what do they call it? Like a tension cord for like the
Okay,
telephone
I just
poles.
it was a real quick shot, and I thought it was like the rebar, and I was like, why is that just hanging across two
Once
buildings?
again, I'm not an architecture.
But yeah, he crosses it and sees the dog, and he's like, try getting across that piece of shit.
Challenge accepted.
Dude, this dog tightrope walks.
This is the Terminator of dogs.
And I mean, it's a bad special effect because like, and I mean, it might be because I'm sure the version I watched on Vudu was like HD,
Yeah.
but you can see like where they're
Imposed.
compositing a shot of like a dog walking, and then they just composite underneath
Uh-huh.
underneath it of like, oh no, look, he's up on that thing. But it's a dog tightrope walking, and that's all I needed.
Dude,
in
this
my
dog,
life.
it's fucking Jason Voorhees. Like he is just coming to get you.
Yeah, this dog will not stop.
I love it.
He does meet up again with Mac. And Mac's like, hey, what happened? He's like, oh man, I blew it. And then another explosion goes on. I did laugh at that too.
Of course, you're supposed to.
And I laughed at this, and you're not supposed to. Fred Ward grabs this bulldozer and starts driving it to get away from these security guards who are running. By the way, I think running is still faster than a bulldozer.
Dude, the fucking bulldozer had to speed up so Matt could jump on it at a safe rate.
Mac jumps on, and less than 3 seconds later, Fred Ward's like, okay, jump off.
Yeah, accidental laugh here, but I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? This is the slowest moving thing ever. I get that you're taking out the electric fence. Why did he even jump on?
They end up taking out the fence, and then Mac gets shot immediately.
Because
And
that bullet was coming too fast.
couldn't dodge that one. And as he's maybe dying but not, he hands Fred Ward a Frisbee
Yeah,
that's
sure.
apparently full of information. It's literally like a Frisbee with like sparkles on it.
Take this. There's at least 1 megabyte of information on it.
It's got one MP3.
I loaded Snake on this for you. Try not to get your tail. In the later ones, you have to zig and zag.
So we have like a real, he should just die.
Yeah, right.
But instead, we cut to like a shady hospital where Mac is hooked up to a machine, and Wilson,
He's
the
not-
sidekick, is like, "Oh, he's not going to be long for this world.
He's
We
not
should
giving up
question
any
him."
information. Is the only reason I think this is in. By the way, you're correct. Cut this.
Yeah.
We just got 5 minutes off this fucking 2-hour movie.
Yeah, because he just turns around and immediately uses a scalpel to cut his.
But I think
lifeline there, and
Sure.
he dies.
I think that they are literally putting this in instead of having any sort of character development. They're like, we'll just have these guys tell you that Mac is a stand-up guy that's not going to give up the agency.
Yeah, he was already dying for the agency.
Show me,
Like,
don't tell me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so Wilford Brimley reveals that HARP was a fake the whole time. They didn't have anything. But he's like, as in reality, he's like, but it doesn't matter because he's going to get his money and he's going to make HARP 2 and he's going to make HARP 3 and everybody's going to forget about HARP 1,
Uh-huh.
which sounds familiar.
Then they're going to make
Halliburton.
one that's very easy to use. You got Harpies. Well, that's a product that's coming out soon enough for them. Was the harp too hard? Try Harpies. If you buy it, you can't return it.
You have it forever. You only remember once in a while, though. So Grove. So we get to the last act of the movie, which is at this
Mountain.
training facility or weapons testing
Sure.
facility ? And it felt very like old school, like low budget TV, where it's like, okay, we're in the third act. We've got this cheap location. We're going to shoot a bunch of this here.
It's funny you say that because I had big A-Team vibes.
Okay.
Even the score at one point when they're driving down this mountain, which I cannot wait to talk about that fucking stunt. Even then, that score sounds very A-Team. I'm waiting for Mr. T to come out. They got to drug his milk.
Well, that's the Remo Williams theme song that turns into like peril music, but it is very like. Here's
a big song.
That was Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I did Indiana Jones. You didn't. Close enough.
It's all the same, right?
A-Team's like Indiana Jones, but poor. So yeah, they were at this like testing facility, and Grove says something to Mulgrew about like he accuses her of working with Fred Ward. He shows her these pictures and stuff, and she's like ABC whole thing, but her thing is like she's like, see, I don't give a fuck because I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And then she walks outside and runs into
the
Fred
pictures
Ward.
in the trash. I have no idea who they are. Hey, Fred. Oh, shit.
Yeah, she goes outside and there's Fred Ward Ramboing off the bottom of this truck. Was it Rambo 3, right?
Yeah.
Where he's on the bottom of that truck setting like mines and shit or whatever he's doing.
It could be 2.
I don't know. It's one of them.
It's one of the ones where he goes to an Asian country to get POWs. So
yeah, he drops off the truck and she like sees him drop off the truck and then is like, hey, you're in the military, right?
there's a cloud of dust still coming off of this man. He's got stink lines like Pigpen.
But yeah, and then I think it's Grove or Wilson, one of them. I can't tell because they look the same.
This would be Wilson.
Sees them talking, so he's like, oh, they do know each other.
Uh-huh.
Lion, bitch.
You bitch. Bitch.
You said that to her?
So you said bitch though, right? You called Mulgrew a bitch?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
By
Fuck
the way,
no.
I know her mostly from Voyager, and she always had a very like bitchy mom kind of vibe to me.
Yeah.
In this, I'm like, she is kind of smoking hot.
She's smoking hot. The only problem is that haircut's never done anybody any favors.
She looks exactly like she did in Voyager, but just like 10 years younger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, I'd get coffee with her.
But so yeah, the lawyer ends up getting, or whatever he is. I assumed he was a lawyer.
He's a fella.
He's talking about law stuff.
Yeah.
Law stuff.
He's talking about law stuff. Hey, you got questions about law stuff? Give us a call.
But he leaves 1-800-LAW stuff.
100 law stuff.
That fits, right? LAWSTUFF. No, that's 8.
Damn it.
Called her.
Called her. I'm hoping people will actually just, dial the K. You know I always will. Stick with Kafunamapa.
But he leads them. He's like, hey, we got to go. There's something with this gun. Let's go check it out. So he leads them into
It's
a trap.
not a trap, I
basically.
promise.
Yeah, right.
Come with me. It's all in the up and up.
I know I'm the
Wink.
sidekick of the guy that you're investigating, but this definitely isn't a trap. Come with me to this quiet corner of the facility.
Are you winking at me right now when you say that? No. Bing.
He's literally holding his eyes open with his fingers. I'm not winking. One eye is just trying to close. But he walks them into this room, and it's like the poison gas testing room?
Yep.
Question mark.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, you do have to test the efficacy of any sort of gas you're making.
This
Whether
room
it be...
is. I feel like you would test it in like a cylinder. This is like a death camp, like World War II. We're leading people into this room kind of room.
Yeah, this is how you kill a room of goats, like really quickly. That's how
I
you
thought you
test.
said ghosts.
Oh,
And I was like,
man.
this is some strong gas,
They're
man.
the real Ghostbusters. No, I wouldn't put our government above having this sort of room in Mount Pleasure, whatever this fucking place was called.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Mount Agreeable. I don't know.
It wasn't Mount Pleasant, which is a real place,
Mount,
but it was something along it was Mount Pleasure or Camp
Mount Fetish.
Camp
Mount
bondage.
Reach Around.
Camp bondage.
Camp Bondage.
Weapon testing facility. This is only for melee weapons.
This is Camp Crystal Butt Plug.
So he leads them into this room, and they start getting gassed, and Mulgrew goes down pretty quickly. Fred Ward stays up longer because he's got control over breathing.
He's a Jedi.
Question mark. And the Wilson leaves, and Stone is there, and Stone decides letting him die by gas isn't enough.
This is one of the stupidest parts of this movie, which is going to tell you it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, because he puts on a gas mask and comes in, and he's like, oh, well, Fred Ward's nice and weak. I'm going to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know what? If the graboids can't do it, you can't do it, man.
Fuck no.
So he comes in, and he starts beating up Fred Ward. Fred Ward, this is my third favorite part of this movie. He takes this dude's head, shoves it up against this glass, which is clearly plastic, but it's supposed to be
But
glass.
it's supposed to be like bulletproof glass.
Yeah, and he uses the diamond in his tooth to cut like an X in this glass, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's just stupid as fuck. But
thinking
it's
of later
awesome.
movies, Sean Connery using the quarter in The Rock to like score that glass.
Yeah,
Except instead of a quarter, it's a dude's diamond tooth.
Yeah, and I had not purposely run across a spoiler about Diamond Tooth Kill. I was looking up reviews of the movie.
Gotcha. See, that's why I don't go.
But the way I read it, I was like, okay, so he ends up killing some dude and ripping his tooth out.
Sure, which that's what you would do.
That's what I was expecting.
That's what I would do.
No, this is so much cooler because he takes this whole head, shoves it against this glass, doesn't even kill him yet.
Oh no.
He like makes this X with him, and then he just throws him down, and the guy puts his mask back on, and Fred Ward smashes the glass out of the eye holes of the mask.
Dude,
so
he
that the guy
comes
will
in,
die.
he kill Bill, the teacher. I can't remember the master's name, but he
Bill.
comes in. No, the guy that taught all of them. You idiot.
Sorry, I'm thinking of who actually did the 5-finger death punch thing.
No. Stop with the eye pluck.
Oh, okay. What's it called? It's not the 5-finger death punch. That's a
Five
shitty
Finger
band. That's a shitty band, but it's like that.
It's like that. I would rather you do that to me than make me listen to 5-Finger Death Punch. You can take my eyes. Please, God, take my ears.
I had to see 5-finger death punch in concert.
Ew.
Yeah.
Crime and Italy. Yeah. Like blink twice if you need to be rescued, man.
Blink, blink. I did it, but no one can see that or hear that, so I had to.
We blinked 4 times, so he needs help like really quick.
So yeah, Fred Ward jumps through this glass, which breaks a second before he hits it, and they clearly escape from the thing. They don't show that.
No, but here they are. They're out, and all of a sudden, she's horny.
Oh, she's ready for some Fred Ward.
Oh, yeah.
She wants his graboid.
Oh, yeah. Wants to grab his Boyd.
And
Hope he's not wearing a cup.
Stone did die in there.
Uh-huh.
We find out. So that's another person that died.
Yeah.
So we're up to what, 3 now?
Maybe.
2? Something like that.
Because, I mean,
Somewhere between 2 and 3.
maybe they got that concrete guy out. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
No, he's still there.
I think Concrete Guy is still underneath that
he's
building.
part of the city now.
He's part of the Statue of Liberty.
I'm the toe.
So they're walking away from the camp because Fred Ward has some kind of plan, and he hears something mystical that we don't hear.
Uh-huh.
And so 45 minutes later, Chun's back in the movie because Fred Ward finds him behind a tree.
Kicks his ass, too.
Yeah.
Chun kicks his ass, and he's like, you are deaf. I've been stomping around this mountain for fucking whatever,
Well,
15
and when
minutes.
Fred Ward first went behind this tree, because he is dressed like an army person,
Yes.
I thought it was like some of the guys that were coming after them because they said they were going to go find them.
Yeah.
So I thought it was Fred Ward going behind the tree and throwing a guy out.
No.
And
Yeah,
then, so I just see an
which
army guy fly
You're right
out.
to think that.
But then Chun steps out, and I was like, oh, it was Fred Ward the whole time. He would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for you meddling Mulgrews.
If it wasn't for these damn meddling white dudes dressing up as Koreans.
So Chun meets them, and this is when he has his comment that you made earlier in the movie, or in the podcast, that women should stay at home and make babies, preferably man children.
Like, why throw this line in? Like, it makes zero sense. Is this like a fucking editorial?
It fits in with the rest of the misogyny and racism from the movie.
Sure, but it's implied. We get it.
It just feels like 1988 or 1985 if you say this, you know. 1988 too, 2009,
Yeah,
whatever.
2020. Just
There was a period there where it wasn't okay, and then around 2018, something happened, and all of a sudden it was okay again.
You know what? People started grabbing him by the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movies, that is.
Yeah.
The cinemas, dude.
If they're famous, if you're famous, they let you.
Yeah, you just move on them.
Oh,
What
God,
a
I hope he's not
fucking
coming back.
What a terrible person, man.
He might be coming back.
Yeah. We're already fucked.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Lets me know
So they
who not
steal
to
a
like.
truck. And we do get, this is where we get the Lee Iacocca reference.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. These guys are working on their, like, okay,
It
I gotta
looks like
figure
they're
this
working
out.
on the back axle.
This logging truck. This truck is made
Uh-huh.
for hauling wood.
Go on.
This logging truck is at this logging facility because we've seen it pull wood away.
Yeah.
This logging facility is part of this weapons testing facility? ?
Maybe.
Because when the explosions are happening here shortly, Fred Ward is running from explosions and lands on a log that gets taken away for logging.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, well, the explosions sometimes knock the trees down.
These guys are Army Reserves. They're just there to clean
just
up
the
where
Corps
they.
of Engineers.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
maybe it is that they're like, we're going to need this area up here later, so clear that area.
I don't even know what this log thing is. We'll get there in just a second. But they steal this truck, and apparently the guy was working on his brakes. He says something about the pinion, which is definitely a steering
rack and pinion
thing.
steering. We've all heard
has nothing
it.
to do with brakes.
Yeah,
but either way, they're working on this truck, and Mulgrew, Ward, and Chun steal this truck, and they're driving away very fast. And oh, surprise, the guy who was working on the truck was working on it because something was wrong.
Yeah.
Turns out it's the brakes.
Kind of a big deal when you're going downhill in a logging truck. Kinda.
So yeah, they're rocking down this hill, and this logging...
It's just rocking, dude.
This log falls in front of them from
Running
question
down
mark.
the hill.
Because there's no like crane or anything. It's like a pulley system. I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's a zip line.
It's a zip line for
It's a
logs.
fucking zip line for like not even logs. These are most of trees. Like
Yeah.
this is, I would say, a good 75% of a big old redwood or pine.
This has the top cut off where all the branches are.
And the roots.
And the roots.
That's
it. It's the other 7 feet or 10 feet
It's
of
the rest
tree.
of the tree. Yeah, I don't understand it, but I'm not a logger.
No, I'm more of like an IPA.
Yeah, Pilsners.
So this truck is out of control. It's going down the hill. It's about to hit this entire tree. So Fred Ward, jump.
I've wanted to talk to you about this scene since I've watched it. I hope you had appreciation for it like I did.
For the crash?
Yes.
The crash is great.
So
I feel like this was meant to have an explosion.
it just didn't go
for
off?
one specific reason.
Okay.
Did you see the fuel tank?
I saw a bunch of fuel.
Okay, this
I thought that
truck-
was just like water in the back.
maybe it's water. It was pressurized because this truck goes off the road.
Everyone jumps out.
Everybody,
We think.
everybody jumps out. We see Fred Ward and Mulgrew dive away. The truck flies off the side of this hill and it's crashing and crashing. It's great,
Dude, it hits this tree stump at the very beginning of the hill, which just, flips it and puts it on a rotation that is so fucking awesome.
Yeah. They threw a truck down a hill. And this is why I think it was supposed to be an explosion. It didn't work and they had to use it because they were like, we already threw the truck down the hill.
I figured they only had one shot at this.
Exactly. There's a part where towards the end when the truck is like wheels are falling off the truck, everything's flying around, doors are
Our
flying.
heads are falling off.
You see a tank of some sort filled with some kind of liquid that's pressurized because this tank goes flying into the air. Like at one point towards the end of the
And it is
crash.
spraying.
And it's spraying around and it's launching like those little from the 90s, those little things that you could pump that were like
hydro rocket.
Yeah, they were like supposed to be rockets, but you just pumped them with water. It looks just like that. And that's why I thought it was gas. And I was like, it's supposed to explode, but it didn't.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Because even when I was
Because
watching,
I don't know what else is pressurized. That's what
the pressure makes sense. I just thought it was like they put water in those barrels to keep it on the back of the truck until it flipped. But with the pressure, makes sense. I was happy for it though, man. Like I even thought like you only get one shot and they hit that tree stump perfectly.
Yeah. It was a great crash.
Awesome. It made me think of Cherry 2000 where this is what we
The van.
wanted.
Yes.
We wanted this. And they did good, but not this.
Yeah, because that van was falling down and that's exactly what I thought of, by the way. But the van is falling down
why we're
like a strip mine.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a nice even curve, like a slope.
This
is a hill full of trees and rocks and like so yeah, it was cool. That was a very cool car crash. And they can't find Chun, and then Fred Ward's like, oh shit, he must still be in the truck, even though we saw him jump out.
I was going to say, I thought he just jumped out so smoothly that Fred Ward didn't notice.
Yeah.
Nope.
I thought this was going to be a thing, and it's actually dumber. I thought it was going to be a thing where Fred Ward runs down to the truck, and he's like, where is he? Where is he? And he's pulling through, and then Chun's standing behind him.
Exactly my thoughts.
No. He pulls all these
Hi,
pieces
everybody.
Hi, Dr. Chun. He pulls all these pieces of metal off, and here's Chun just taking a nap in this crashed truck.
Holding onto a door handle.
Yeah, and he's like, in Korea, door handles don't break off. And I'm like,
Pretty
you're a
sure they
fucking
fucking do.
liar.
Is Daewoo, I think, is Korean.
Oh, there's a Hyundai is Korean. I
Korean
drive a
still.
Hyundai. It's good quality now.
Yeah.
Hyundai is
85?
10 years ago weren't great.
No way.
40, almost 40 years ago, fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Liar.
First of all, they didn't have a truck.
You're lying about this and you're lying about your race.
This truck is doing yellow face too.
It's got yellow grill.
I do love the line though. He's walking away after Fred Ward helps him out, and he's like, "You drive like a monkey in heat." I don't know what that means. All I can think of was Grandma's Boy.
Uh-huh.
Drive, monkey, drive.
That monkey got aggressive on set.
I heard.
There's a couple scenes.
I've watched all the behind the scenes.
I have
'cause I'm
no
a bad
trust
person.
with working with animals like that because I figure if you're an animal in captivity, you're probably looking to get back at a human. And
Have
it's
you
gonna be
seen
me.
Nope?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's a fucking
exactly.
real fear, dude. That is a legit concern with working with animals.
That monkey murdered a whole family. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. It's
The fake family, a fake TV family, but it was still the number of people that equal a family.
I enjoyed that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking tasty.
I understand people's qualms,
Sure.
but I really loved it.
I went in knowing zero about that movie, which helped out a bunch.
So unfortunately, Whitney and I go to the movies a lot, which isn't the unfortunate part.
Unfortunately, she's with you.
But we see they show trailers, and like the first trailer was great. A lot of mystery, a lot of is it aliens? Is it something else? What's going
Yeah.
on? Because it give you a vibe that maybe there's an alien thing, but who knows?
Could
Because
also
you
be a
see
big
people looking at
fucking
the sky at some
phony.
point. Who knows? The second trailer was like, oh, it's definitely aliens, and I was like, well, okay. You know the worst part? We saw it, luckily, when it came
Yeah.
out. Peacock had it first. That was
Uh-huh.
they had the streaming rights for it. We were watching something else. Trailer starts for Nope. Literally shows the monster thing at the end in the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, if I hadn't seen this movie, I might go all the way to Los Angeles and burn down NBC or New York, wherever the fuck they
That's
are.
it. Burn it down.
Burn down the whole place. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna show the big reveal in the trailer?
I'm gonna have to burn the building down. Have you seen my trailer?
If that movie made Endgame money, sure, because everybody's seen it.
Right.
It made Nope money.
I watched it at home on Peacock, but I was able to avoid all trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the guy you're talking about. That if I was on Peacock more, I would have seen that and been like, well, I'm not watching now.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
So he has this line now where like Chun calls him son, and then Remo Williams.
What did you
First
call
time I've
me?
said that. Fred Ward is walking away. And after he says, "What did you call me?" He's walking away, and he's like, "I'll see you later, little father," which seems like a moment.
Is there a cut scene or
Yes.
something? Like,
There's an
'cause-
entire scene that was cut, which would make the scene make any sense.
But also, I'm not complaining because now it's shorter.
Yeah, but you know what? Cut something else and leave the scene
Cut
in that
Mac.
makes your big heartfelt moment make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Because apparently it was a scene where he calls him little father and Chun gets very upset about it. Like he gets annoyed by it or something like that. And so this comes back around and he's like, hey, little father. And it's like, oh,
That makes
'cause it's a
perfect
term of
sense. At the
endearment.
time, I'm like, did I miss something?
Yeah, no, you didn't miss anything. The editors missed something.
Did I fall asleep for like 45 seconds?
It's possible in this
It's
movie.
possible.
We've got to squeeze in one more racist comment.
Oh, yeah,
So
we're almost
we have
there.
Mulgrew, who's she's trying to talk to Chun and he's being very like zen. And she's like, you're just standing there like Nanook of the North. And that's a joke that 97% of people aren't going to get.
Right over my head.
Yeah. I only get it because when I was in film school, I had a documentary class. We had to watch a bunch of documentaries. There's a very old documentary called Nanook of the North
Okay.
that was about these Inuit people. And one of the guys, the main focus of the documentary was Nanook. They're Inuit, which is an Asian thing. So she's like, you're standing there like Nanook of the North because he doesn't talk. 'cause
Sure.
he didn't speak English. So
All right. Makes perfect
it's a
sense.
stupid joke. And it's also just like, let's throw in one more racist jab. I guess because the only people who are going to get it are people over 70.
I think that's what it is. You're getting away with a racist jab because it's like no one's going to know this.
people over 70 in 1985 got that.
Yeah. Good for you. Did you reach your fucking demographic, pal?
They're dead now. So
Your
it's
grandma's chuckling in her grave.
okay. So yeah, there's like some kind of bomb test that Fred Ward is in the middle of. I'm not exactly sure what was happening here.
I thought they were tracking him.
Is that what it was?
They do have, because, all right, so now we've got the two bad guys together with the paid off general and soldier in a Jeep going down the hill. And they're talking to, they keep calling it treetop or pine top or
Yeah.
something, code name for this radio shack.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
Pine Top and like Bandit Leader
yeah.
or something.
And they're calling out coordinates.
Red One.
And they keep saying things like, get eyes on him. And there was actually a funny joke here because at one point he's like, hey, give me radio silence. Like, quit talking to each other. This is one of the bad guys. And give me directions or give me coordinates. Like, give me a read on what's happening. And he's talking about Fred Ward. The guy's like, okay, well, you're headed northernly. He's like, not me, you idiot.
Yeah, and they do find him, and they're like, there's a heat signature 50 meters above the ground. Because
Yeah.
Fred Ward, after this bombing, falls onto this tree, stump, log,
Zip
whatever,
line,
and it gets lifted up by this zip line.
gondola.
And I can understand this zip line thing taking like these trees to somewhere else. But why is it taking one every 2 hours or whatever? There's no other. There should be a whole procession of tree trunks.
I got
on
a lot
this
of
thing.
friends that have been in the Army. They'll tell you this is a run the clock out situation when you're working this shit.
But yeah,
Our
he's-
orders were to take one tree, so that's what we're doing.
So he's hanging off the log. The general and Grove and Nameless Soldier are pursuing, and Wilson is there too. Who cares?
Well,
I couldn't tell because Grove was there. And I was like, they're the same person. How am I seeing double? I only had one beer.
the two baddies are there. I don't know which one's which.
It's technically three because that general is corrupt too.
Yeah.
And Ward ends up, like, he's riding this log and they're trying to shoot him. And he ends up dropping this log onto another stack of logs that aren't being taken anywhere.
That's where they were. That's where they stopped.
That's where they live.
This is where I live now.
And these logs roll down and hit this Jeep, knocking it off the road and supposedly, presumably, killing everybody. But we know, we've seen horror movies, the bad guy doesn't die the first time.
Never the first time. You got to double tap that shit, Fred.
Fred Ward goes down there. Grove is there with a gun holding it on him. Fred Ward dodges the bullets.
He's
even worse than
Chun. It's so fucking bad, goddamn.
And he does the disarm. Oh, speaking of goddamn,
he did the thing.
Wilford Brimley's out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone.
He's sitting down for the rest of the fucking movie at his own house.
They had him for an afternoon.
All right, goddamn, I'll do this movie, but I do not have to stand, and I'm here for one day, one afternoon.
He's just rolling in like this chair that I'm sitting in, just rolling back and forth. Like, oh, I'm at the table now. Hold on.
He's that guy pushing himself back to craft service, just on a rolly chair.
I need another bear claw. Goddamn it.
Where's all the beignets, goddamn all?
But yeah, so he disarms him like the beginning of the movie, Chernobyl's chainsaw, and
He did the thing.
at a point he takes Grove and he talks some shit and he just throws him over the Jeep and starts walking away. And I was like, that's not how people die, man.
Well, and I thought, did he have a change of heart where he's like, well, maybe the courts will take care of this guy?
Yeah.
No, the whole fucking movie that the courts will not take care of this guy.
No, here Fred Ward uses magic.
Friction and chi, my friend.
Oh,
Friction
okay.
and chi.
So you're telling me if I got my chi in balance, I could just hold a stick in my hand and catch
Well,
it
it depends on
fire.
which gate of chakra you're opening up.
Oh, I'm gonna open my rear chakra.
Oh, yeah, you can set fire that way. That can start a fire.
And he tosses this flaming stick back at the Jeep.
Cool
which-
guy, fucking walk away,
Yep,
no
walk
look,
away,
bro.
don't look at the explosion. Medium, bada boom.
Medium bada boom. Yeah, it's a boom.
It's boom enough to kill this guy. And then Ward and Chun ride off into the sunset on a speedboat.
Well, before they get to the speedboat, because we have Mulgrew's right there, Ward is on the boat, and then Chun is surrounded by these military guys. And how does he get away? Because for whatever reason, the guy's like, don't shoot. And this fucking guy just
yeah,
all
he
the way
Jesus
across
walks
the water.
across the water, right into the boat or onto the boat, not
Onto the
into
boat.
it. He's on the fucking helm there,
And
the
he does
whole time.
his I'm not going to do the voice, but he's like,
not the helm,
the bow.
the bow. There we go.
But he does his stupid voice that we won't do, but he's like, must run real fast. You know, it's fucking stupid. And then he stands in the front of this boat, and I was looking. They hide it really well. He's holding a rope.
Is he okay?
Because he's standing, he never has both hands off. He's standing on the front of this boat when Fred Ward like fucking guns it.
I looked down because I had to write down his lines, so I didn't see the rope. When they're riding away and they're doing the boat's getting further, but the voice is staying the same volume thing.
Don't you just hate that?
And Fred Ward is like, Chun, you're incredible. He's like, no, I'm better than that. And then we get credits and we get the Remo Williams theme by Tommy Shaw again.
And this movie's over.
And this movie's over. And there's nothing else.
No stinger
There's
scene.
no
huh?
stinger for the sequel. They hadn't figured. See, if they'd done a stinger, they could have had a whole Marvel universe of Remo Williams movies.
Oh, who's
but-
Remo Williams' partner going to be? Not Marvel, but like just another character. Is he going with John McClane? No, McClane
No.
works alone.
Yeah, McClane wouldn't hang out with him.
David Carradine from Kung Fu.
I was like, just Steven Seagal from anything.
Steven Seagal. There's another fake Asian.
That was what was that one? On Deadly Ground? Is that the one where he plays a Inuit or Eskimo
I believe
person?
so.
Yeah.
I believe it, yeah.
We might have to do that.
Oh, dude. You know what? He's a piece of shit, but I love some of his movies because he's so bad.
Yeah. He's got some great ones all the way up until about 1998.
Yeah.
Starting at 1992.
Under Siege 2.
But that's it for this movie. So we'll go all the way around the horn.
All of us.
Recommendations?
It is the lightest recommend I can give because I think if you are using it as background with friends while you're drinking and you just key in on these ridiculous moments, it's good. But other than that, like those specific scenarios, no. Too long, not enough happening. Fred Ward is close to charmless.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm close to that because I saw this movie was 121 minutes and it was free on Tubi and Freevee. And I was like, no, I'm paying $4 on Vudu. I don't need to watch a 2-hour and 20-minute version.
Yeah, I
or
did
whatever.
The same
I
thing.
skip the commercials. But like, my only thing is like, if you have it on in the background, like people are going to see stuff and be like, wait, did I miss something? And then go watch it later and they're going to be sad.
Like you didn't miss a fucking thing.
So I don't know. I maybe really, really, really soft recommend, but I'm going to, no.
No, yeah.
Just,
okay.
I'm going to
That's
say
fair.
no.
Like I said, mine's the softest.
It does have a fairly big cult following, apparently. And a lot of the people, I was reading the reviews on Letterboxd, and a lot of the people who were talking about it were like, oh, that fucking, the tooth scene, the Statue of Liberty scene, and that's about it. And I'm wondering if a lot of the people who saw the Statue of Liberty scene were like, yeah, then that's the end of the movie.
It could have been. Just turn it off.
Could have been a 70-minute movie. But that's it. I have to go no, just because
I
just
understand
didn't
why.
have enough fun. It was through it. I was like, maybe it's kind of cool, but it just didn't do enough for me.
Yeah.
The new kind of thing I want to do, like a couple of reviews from people on Letterboxd that are kind of funny.
Hit me, daddy.
So we've got one from we'll start at the low end. So 0.5 star from Willard Hunting. It's Kingsman: The Secret Service meets The Avengers, meets The Karate Kid, meets Rocky, meets The Matrix, meets Starship Troopers, meets Zoolander, meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, meets Men in Black
Holy
3,
shit.
meets Home Alone, meets Silence of the Lambs, meets The Spy Who Loved Me, meets Rambo, meets Blade Master, meets Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, meets Super Mario Brothers, meets The Thing.
No, you get to cut that down by 2/3, sir.
I just liked it because the guy just kept going.
Yeah.
But as I'm reading it, I'm like, there was no supernatural. I read this stuff before I watched it.
Where was the Starship Troopers?
Yeah, where are the aliens? I guess the bad military.
Nah.
That guy Grove could have worked. He could have been, Michael Ironside could have played him.
Oh, Michael Ironside would have brought a lot to this role.
Oh, man, this movie would have been 10 stars.
I would have been so scared of Grove if it was Michael fucking Ironside.
And then I got another 1-star one from Speed Racer. Come for Fred Ward. Be convinced by Wilford Brimley and J.A. Preston that this movie maybe won't be that bad. Then get ready to have your low expectations lowered at nearly every subsequent scene.
See, there's a bit of truth to that.
Now, 5 stars.
Okay.
And not just 5 stars on this one. Letterboxd has a thing where you can like love a movie and you have a little heart on it. So it's 5 stars and a heart.
Oof.
So this is like the top from Aiden. Yes, obviously everyone involved in casting Joel Grey in this role should be in prison. But Fred Ward is such a great hero. Kate Mulgrew rules, and it's so fun and unique. By the time the dog walked a tightrope, I just couldn't help but love it.
I mean, there's parts I love. See what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna not recommend a movie that's got dogs using ladders, fire escapes, and tightrope walking?
And one more from Glasstown, another 5 star. My best friend in junior high always talked to me about this movie, and I thought he was making it up, but he showed it to me one day. That's the review.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we have our 1-year anniversary episode, Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Ben will be back.
Woo!
What happened?
What the
Ghosts?
hell was that?
We're redoing our very first episode now that we kind of know what we're doing. ?
We know more.
We're still unqualified.
Yeah.
But that'll be next week. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast anywhere you're allowed. Check out the website.
Places you're not allowed, I don't care.
Well, some of the things don't have a rating.
I know.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
I just want people to break the law for us. Is that so fucking difficult?
No, do it.
Do it.
Just rate us. Just go to the, I don't know, Pandora offices and scratch 5 stars into their wall.
Excuse me, Governor, I'd like to rate somebody.
But do that. Check out our YouTube page, Bad Movies, or it's youtube.com/@Bad Movies Worst People, because YouTube sucks.
Uh-huh.
Check out Evasion. They provide our opening and closing music. Go buy some shit. It's on our website. Click the big blue merch button. That's it for this week. I have been Derrick.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
Good night, and where the fuck did she come from?
Gotta start locking your doors, man.
If you've thought about recording a podcast before, but like myself, realized you need a lot of different tools and services, well, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and easily distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. You can record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests and feel a sense of zen knowing that Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code WORSEPEOPLE, that's WORSEPEOPLE, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.